Hello, I'm Ken Smith with WRAL and Fox 50. It is my honor to be your Master of Ceremonies for the virtual 2021 Governor's Award for Excellence ceremony. These awards represent the highest honor a state employee may receive for dedicated service to the state and the citizens of North Carolina. This year, we are honoring 39 very special employees, 16 individuals, and a team of 23 colleagues will receive this prestigious award. Now, be prepared to hear some amazing stories about the actions of North Carolina government employees who have gone above and beyond to serve the people of our great state of North Carolina. The Governor's Awards for Excellence program was created in 1982 to acknowledge and express appreciation to employees for their outstanding accomplishments beyond the scope of their normal duties. State employees are nominated for the award by their supervisors and co-workers. This year, a total of 422 nominations were submitted from agencies and universities all across our state. We are so grateful for the continuing support of the State Employees Credit Union Foundation, which generously provides grant funding to make this program possible. The SECU Foundation believes in making a positive change across our state through community development. It is my pleasure to introduce Joanne Sanford, chair of the SECU Foundation Board. She was elected to the State Employees Credit Union Board of Directors in 2005 and formerly served as its chair. Ms. Sanford and the SECU Foundation believe strongly in the merits of state government service and its mission to improve the lives of all North Carolinians. Please join me in welcoming Ms. Sanford.
Good morning. I am Joanne Sanford, chair of the SECU Foundation Board of Directors, and I am here on behalf of the members and staff of our credit union. We are delighted to congratulate an outstanding group of state employees who have earned the Governor's Awards for Excellence for their exemplary service and accomplishments. As longtime supporters of the Governor's Awards, we look forward to this annual opportunity to celebrate our state government employees. We applaud North Carolina's state employees for their dedication to making a difference in our lives and our communities every day. Our gratitude knows no bounds for the countless ways that many have served and helped us navigate the unprecedented challenges of this savage pandemic. We thank them for their bravery and their good hearts, and we honor their commitment with these prestigious recognitions today. These individuals, their passion, leadership, and excellence in service truly demonstrate the cooperative spirit of helping others. They embody the people helping people philosophy on which State Employees Credit Union was founded. We applaud the remarkable contributions made by these employees. Representing the many faces and professions of state employees, these recipients work tirelessly to benefit the people and communities of our great state. On behalf of the 2.6 million members who fund SECU Foundation, we offer our heartfelt congratulations and our deepest thanks.
Well, thank you so much, Ms. Sanford. The 17 Governor's Awards for Excellence that we announced today honor 39 employees who demonstrate compassion for their fellow citizens, a passion for volunteerism, and an unselfish devotion to serving the state of North Carolina. They put others first, and they make sure our lives as North Carolinians are better each day. Please welcome Barbara Gibson, Director of the Office of State Human Resources, which manages this recognition program, to share a few words about this impressive group of state employees and to introduce today's special guest speaker.
Thank you, Ken, and sincere thanks to Joanne Sanford and the State Employees Credit Union Foundation for their unwavering support. This wonderful partnership makes it possible each year for us to honor so many of our remarkable employees and their achievements. The Office of State Human Resources administers the Governor's Awards for Excellence program, and I am pleased to tell you that the selfless achievements of this year's group absolutely merit this high honor. As a career state employee, and especially in my role as Human Resources Director, I know that people who are attracted to public service careers tend to be inherently kind and giving. But each year that I have the privilege to be part of this ceremony, I'm amazed by the generosity, the innovation, leadership, and heroism exemplified by our honorees. In a few minutes, you will learn more about them by watching special video tributes. These videos capture poignant stories that give you a remarkable glimpse into each honoree's commitment to the greater good. Their demonstrated commitment is a reflection of Governor Cooper's promise to help all North Carolinians become better educated, healthier, and more prosperous so that they can live more abundant, purposeful lives. The people we celebrate today acted selflessly. Their drive to improve efficiencies, facilitate innovation, help others, and literally save lives are what made their nominations stand out. After hearing the distinguished accomplishments and actions of this year's Governor's Award for Excellence recipients, I know you will see them as I do, as superheroes for the public good. Working for agencies and universities across North Carolina, they represent our highest aspirations in meeting the needs of people across our state. I send my sincere thanks and gratitude to our honorees. Your shining example inspires me to always make the most of every opportunity to serve others. And now it is my honor to introduce Governor Roy Cooper. A strong advocate for public employees, he continues to provide extraordinary support to our workforce during the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic. We are doing our part to promote the health and safety of our employees and the public by holding this event virtually. On behalf of everyone involved in organizing this ceremony, we thank you for watching and for joining us in congratulating your friends and colleagues on the great work they do for the state of North Carolina. Please welcome Governor Roy Cooper.
Hi everybody, Roy Cooper here. Thank you, Director Gibson, and thanks everyone for being here. Congratulations to this year's Governor's Award for Excellence recipients. I'm honored to serve alongside you and all of the state employees who work every day to make North Carolina the wonderful place that it is. State employees are the backbone of our government. You provide valuable services, and our communities and families count on you. Our schools and businesses depend on you. Our clean air and water depend on you, as does our safety. And every year, we have employees who step up and go the extra mile. This year's 39 recipients certainly did that. They include, among other things, great workers and a group of 23 employees at the Department of Public Safety who worked together to create a telemedicine solution for the state's offender population. Excellent work during a tough time. Thank you all for your service to our state, and congratulations on this well-deserved achievement.
Thank you, Governor Cooper. It is now my honor and privilege to tell you about the outstanding employees selected as Governor's Award for Excellence recipients. I will introduce each recipient and a video to help you get a better idea of how to get to know them better. First up, in the category of customer service is Rob Montague from the Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services. Rob is known for his dedication to wildlife services and our communities. He provides quick responses to calls, whether they're wildlife related or not, and he enhances the customer's experience through his hands-on involvement as he continues to lend his expertise to help keep our forests safe and assist citizens in need. Let's check out his video.
Rob is a community asset, not just a local forest ranger.
And Rob is one of those that's always listening to the radio, and when he hears something that he can help with, he calls and offers his help.
But we have a call that he thinks he should be involved in. You know, we get a call that a tree's down or somebody's been injured by, you know, a timber or cutting accident. You know, he'll actually call, hey, you need me on that scene. You know, I'm listening, I hear you.
When that need is there, especially the emergency response, those aren't scheduled. So if we can do something to help the people, the cooperators, that's what we're here to do.
A lot of times landowners will call and have found themselves in a situation that now they're managing a large piece of property that maybe before they weren't involved in or didn't have a lot of knowledge of, and he listens to them and offers, and obviously how the North Carolina Forest Service can help, what he can do to help them, but he offers some empathy to them and they feel like they're talking to more of a friend instead of just a government agency.
I enjoy what I do every day. I enjoy coming to work. Enjoy the challenges of who's going to call in today, who's going to come to the office today that needs our help, and we're able to fill that goal and that need that they have.
We're glad to have him. We're glad to have him in the community, and like I said, I can't say enough good things about him.
I just think of it as helping people, and I guess that does equate to customer service. I like the service part of the North Carolina Forest Service and Agriculture and Consumer Services. The service part of that is important to me.
He is all about serving his community, and he's very proud to do that. He's very proud to wear the patch, the North Carolina Forest Service patch, and represent the North Carolina Forest Service and the North Carolina Department of Agriculture.
Our second recipient in the category of customer service is Chantel Thornton from the Department of Natural and Cultural Resources. Chantel's role as a park ranger at the Museum of Art takes customer service to a whole new level. Take a look at her video and how she enjoys connecting with museum guests and the beauty of all around her.
Chantel was hired as one of 5 park rangers, and the original intent of the park rangers was definitely for them to be a part of the security team and to keep the park safe and secure. And I think what Chantal has taught us, and the way that we have evolved in and as a museum, is that that's not the only job of our frontline security staff, that they actually thrive in engaging with visitors and having knowledge that helps them engage with visitors, having an interest in nature, in her case, in works of art, in the galleries. You know, we have almost 1 million people visit the park every year. It is our most visited asset. And people come for all different reasons, primarily recreation, family time, and interest in nature. And so what Chantal brings is really that ability for us to meet our visitors with their interests and where they are.
I think it's that moment, that one moment that you can be part of that animal or that bird or that you will never get again. It will never happen again. As a matter of fact, I took a picture yesterday. I had a really bad day photographing yesterday, but I had one little photograph, and it was of a dragonfly, and it was sitting on a wooden bridge. And it was like 2 seconds, and it was gone. And just to be part of that, it is, it's humbling, and it's special.
It's so crucial to work with someone as passionate as Chantal. There's not a day that goes by that she's not smiling and excited about something. She brings this passion and joy to her work that is sometimes hard to find, especially during the pandemic when everything was really shut down. The museum park remained open, and we welcomed hundreds of thousands of visitors during that time. And so her work was so crucial to make sure that the visitors were safe, the park was safe, and everyone was having the best time that they could given the circumstances. But she really just brings this level of enthusiasm to her work that is unmatched by many.
And she just has a natural capacity for that. I mean, just a true love of humanity and a desire to help people, I think, find what they love and really be better versions of themselves. And that's kind of a tall order, but you can see that in what she does.
I love working here. I've never felt so at home and at ease and comfortable and appreciated than I have here. I love it here.
Now, in the Efficiency and Innovation category, we have Eric Turan from the Department of Environmental Quality. Eric is a facilities engineering manager. Join me in learning about his outstanding efforts to streamline processes that have resulted in great cost savings all across our state.
The first day that Eric started, it was readily apparent to me that he was a man of many skills and talents.
I spent close to 30 years in healthcare working for some of the largest healthcare systems across the country on the design, efficiency, and facility operations side for hospitals and healthcare facilities. We would always need to find ways to cover our reduced budgets or fund our own capital projects through cost avoidance and savings initiatives. So what efficiency means to me is having the most energy efficient, reliable equipment to support our operations to minimize any interruption of services to the work, our staff performs at the labs.
The work that Eric and the team that he's put together has done has just been magnificent. But in particular, where it's really resonated with me is the work that he's done to repair and improve upon, quite honestly, a failing infrastructure at our Reedy Creek lab.
Anytime you get into a leadership role, it's important to surround yourself with talented people and to get them to work well together, freely sharing information and interacting with each other. When Eric came here, he made that a priority, and the result now is that he has a very strong team, one that is focused on facilities based on their knowledge and also focused on customer service.
The most significant change that we have made since I joined DEQ is the creation of the DEQ Facility Service Section. We've built an amazing, talented team that is dedicated, committed, and is available 24/7 to provide support to DEQ's 11 divisions that are carrying out DEQ's work of protecting, restoring, and advocating for our environment.
Eric is a strategic thinker. When we have opportunities that arise at facilities, first cut, Eric will break out the fire hose and the fire hat, and he'll fix the problem at hand immediately. His next step is he'll step back, he will take a look at the situation, he'll do a root cause analysis, and he'll try to determine how we can best minimize the risk for reoccurrence.
You know, we take it for granted that the lights are going to be on and that, you know, we're going to have all that we need in our offices and it's cleaned every day. But how he and his team have approached this, I mean, they've put together a consolidated package for the department that we haven't had for years.
To receive this award is a recognition to the work that we're doing is making a difference. And I know that will definitely truly motivate our team to push the envelope and go further in the future.
Next in the category of efficiency and innovation is Michael Ware. We will now watch and learn about the pioneering program this employee of the Department of Information Technology implemented in his IT leadership role within the Department of Environmental Quality.
I'm always fascinated what technology can do, and it's even better when that technology can help citizens.
What Mike has done from day one to work towards helping the department move towards an enterprise IT system, to helping us streamline our storage, to working on developing our drone program, and where I've worked with him the most is on our permit transformation program to move permitting into the 21st century. Mike has just been probably best for me to phrase like a utility infielder. He does a little bit of everything.
And he continually just looks at areas they can improve to serve the business and also cut costs and gain more efficiencies going forward.
Technologies that he's implemented are saving DEQ hundreds of thousands of dollars a year, and we wouldn't realize those savings without Mike Ware's policies that he's implemented.
The drone program itself, it's been a phenomenal success.
We have 610,000 acres of habitats that need to be mapped in North Carolina. Only 90% had been mapped over the last 30 years. The traditional method takes 3 people and they can do 10 acres a day. The drones did 74 acres in just about 3 hours. So if you're looking at cost avoidance, you're looking about $400,000 where you're not spending time, resources.
He's also implemented, new storage solutions within the department that has saved the department, on the order of like $50,000 monthly.
What I think the most successful thing from the storage program was the cost savings for the Department of Environmental Quality. Now, instead of spending money on storage, they can have their business employees spend time doing their mission, which is protecting the environment.
I really chalk up his experience as a retired Air Force officer and in his service in the Air Force set him up in a way to be able to deliberately and precisely put together programs and thoughts, and then to communicate what's often a difficult topic to a layperson in a means that they can understand and then go work towards solving the problem.
My staff supports the employees of the Department of Environmental Quality to do their job. And so if my staff's doing a good job, then the Department of Environmental Quality is doing a good job, and they're supporting the citizens. What it means for me to be chosen for the Governor's Award is it's humbling. I'm proud of it because it reflects not only on Department of Information Technology, it also reflects on the Department of Environmental Quality, and showing that the work that we're doing in IT means something.
Our next award in the category of efficiency and innovation recognizes Jan Weems from the Department of Natural and Cultural Resources. Jan's outstanding work with early childhood and elementary education made sure students continued to be served during the pandemic. Let's take a look.
Before the pandemic, this room was a classroom where we held our curiosity classes. That's our field trip programs where teachers bring their students and they meet with live animals and learn about North Carolina's natural history. But post-pandemic, with this empty space, we saw an opportunity, and Jan is really the one who had the vision and the follow through. So she brought together everyone's expertise throughout the museum, and she encouraged everyone, like, if I can do it, you can do it. And I think we all needed that right there in the midst of the pandemic, a little bit of encouragement, and Jan gave that to us. She has spent her whole career trying to encourage people to have these authentic, hands-on, sensory experiences with nature and to build their connection with nature. And virtual learning has not been a part of her career thus far. But with the challenges that we've faced during the pandemic, she was able to pivot and to rally the entire museum team to enable as close to that kind of experience as we can give.
The museum had done quite a bit of virtual programming before the pandemic, but when we had to move all of our programming online, it really made us reimagine and re-envision what it is we were going to do with audiences and how we were going to interact with them. And it was through this space that we were able to bring the museum messaging and interactive programming to those audiences.
So when the pandemic hit, we were forced to close, and we all ended up at home, on Zoom, on our computers, away from our children, away from our objects, away from our live animals. And we were really struggling as a way to reach our audiences and bring the natural world to them. So when we had the opportunity to take this classroom space and turn it into a studio, we thought of all different ways to reach out through the virtual medium. So we sent materials to students and they met us online. We did programs from the studio with our objects using close-up cameras and props and all different things to bring that experience to them so that they could go out in their own backyards and explore. There have been so many people from the museum that have come together to make this happen. So I really don't consider this my award. I consider this a museum award and all the fabulous people that I've had a chance to work with to make this happen.
This last award in the category of efficiency and innovation is a 23-member group nomination from the Department of Public Safety. Let's learn how this team successfully implemented a telemedicine program for offenders in North Carolina's correctional facilities. Watch as we learn how this new program is efficient, cost-effective, and especially timely.
We were able to provide a specialty healthcare encounter to an offender who had some sort of medical problem, whether it was diabetes or hypertension or cancer or something in which he would need a specialty provider to evaluate him. So with the equipment, we were able to bring that patient live in front of the provider, have a discussion about their issue, and then the provider could then provide the diagnosis and treatment plan to the offender. And so we were able to do that without the offender leaving the secure confines of a facility.
There was a lot of things that had to come together at the same time. So making sure the infrastructure and the broadband was available, that there was training for the nurses because this was all new, and the custody staff, as well as coming up with the technological changes, all in the middle of a pandemic, which had many other projects going on at the same time to reduce population, to do video visitation for giving out vaccinations and doing testing. So there was a lot going on that needed to be coordinated at the same time.
We had the foundational technology in the department, but what we had to do at the prison facilities is add additional networking components and the actual devices to allow for the video telehealth appointments.
It improves security so much to be able to do something in the same facility right down the hall and keep the staff in place so that they can man their posts and provide increased security.
This project has given us the opportunity to work with pretty much everyone across the board, and it's really been a fabulous collaboration.
The fact that it also saved a lot of money and did public safety at the same time just made it a tremendous effort that everyone realized the benefit, and so they were perfectly willing to work long hours, weekends, whatever it took to get it done.
This has been an amazing collaboration of multiple groups with multiple different folks all coming together to make this a reality and a huge success.
So we're very excited and honored and humbled that the hard work has been recognized.
Our next category is human relations. Our first recipient is Terry Albrecht from the Department of Environmental Quality. Let's watch this video and learn about how Terry had a major impact on the innovative delivery of technical field assistance statewide.
The Waste Reduction Partner Program, it's a team of engineers, and they actually do on-site assessments with industries to help identify cost-saving strategies that also improve those businesses' environmental performance.
He brings 20 years of experience and 20 years of passion for waste reduction partners.
In college, I took a course in environmental ethics, and I was able to hear one of the innovators in the pollution prevention movement speak. And from that day on, I always wanted to work in that field. And I've been very fortunate to spend the majority of my career assisting industries and managing programs that assist industries and institutions on these cost savings and environmental improvement strategies.
Terry is a very dedicated, hardworking, innovative employee, and he can recognize where his piece of a puzzle is within the big picture.
He is very able to balance the detail-oriented world with the holistic or systems approach, and I really appreciate being able to work with someone who can brainstorm and look at things with that lens.
The Land of Sky Regional Council is where Terry works out of, and they actually administer the program in partnership with DEQ. Terry's done a wonderful job of fostering not only that partnership, but hundreds of others across the state.
Building that rapport and that connection with both businesses and government and schools has resulted in additional work and looking at additional systems. And once you start kind of working, an example, he worked with one of the school systems, and then the county wanted him to continue doing that work for their other buildings, and it just kind of builds on and leads to additional opportunities.
This is a huge honor for me, but mostly it's really a recognition for the amazing team we have at Waste Reduction Partners. We have over 40 engineers and scientists stationed across the state. Many of them are volunteering their time to work in the program, and it's really a tribute to their success that this award is being given. So it's a true honor.
Terry Grant Boyd is our next recipient in the category of human relations. Terry is from the Department of Health and Human Services and has worked hard on an issue that is facing our entire nation. Watch to see how Terry embraced the initiative to benefit diverse employees of the Murdoch Development Center.
I was in my office and
I don't know if it was the George Floyd incident or which incident exactly, but something happened. My heart just all of a sudden felt so empty. And I just had sort of a little breakdown, but my coworkers, my supervisor allowed me to have it, allowed me to speak out, allowed me to hurt. And with that, we began, I think we just began to say, we need to talk about this because I'm not the only one feeling this. And then it just kind of birthed us having the discussion.
So knowing all those things she was going through, she didn't let it keep her down. She said, okay, what can I do about it?
When I learned that we would have the opportunity to start formally our DEI council here at Murdoch, Terry was the first person that sprung into my mind for a leadership role.
And so what does real inclusion look like? You know, what does having a voice at the table really look like? And it just spawned off to different, in different directions. So we have had an African American cultural festival. That was the first big thing that we did. We recently had our first Pride event for Murdoch Center. So it's just continuing to educate the people that live and work here. Because I think if we educate the people that live and work here, we educate the community.
Terry, by being her authentic self, not only models diversity, equity, and inclusion, that this is not just a task that she has been assigned to, but it's a calling. To see Terry receive this award is actually, very validating in the importance of the work that we're doing and knowing that going forth, we're only going to be able to do bigger and better things.
Our third honoree in the category of Human Relations is Cindy Moore Bridges from the Department of Public Safety. Join me in getting a glimpse of how Cindy spreads cheer and generously shares personal resources to lift others in her community.
I want to congratulate Miss Cindy Moore Bridges. She was nominated for the award when she was a unit manager at Pasture Tank. She actually owns a business that she goes out in the community with the cartoon character costumes and visits the rest homes, hospitals, and schools.
Well, business was starting to take a downfall due to the fact that COVID was at an all-time high. So the normal things that we would do, such as birthday parties or group events, was down to nothing and really dwindled. But we kind of talked, my kids and I, my co-workers were talking about things we could do to still help out a little bit. And my suggestion was, although I wasn't making a lot of money doing it, why not still make people happy in the process? So we decided to offer our assistance to anyone that was in the hospital would get a free visit. Anyone that was having a party for a school-age child that was affected because of COVID would also get free visits. And from there it just sparked. The only thing it really cost us was gas. We did one or two and it picked up, and before we knew it, we were getting calls to go as far as CHKD in Virginia to do window visits as well as in-house hospital visits whenever possible. And people enjoyed it. I mean, you would think just the children, but no, we found ourselves visiting adults as well. So they were all pretty glad to see Mickey Mouse, Minnie Mouse, or whomever come out of their room to give them a smile for the day.
She's a humble person. I know she helps the community because that's what she actually was born to do. She is a great people's person. She has a great personality, and she's all about helping people that are in need.
If I had it my way, I'd probably nominate other people for other things that, in my opinion, that they did that were more commendable to me than what I did.
I'm not surprised she won. It's very well deserved.
Our next category is Outstanding Government Service. First up, I want to share with you a video summarizing how Katie Bowler-Young from the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill has expanded a major academic program. Knowing what we've all been up against during the COVID-19 pandemic, you will be amazed at the scope of what she was able to accomplish.
I'm Katie Bowler-Young. I'm the Senior Director of Global Partnership and Programs in the Office of the Vice Provost for Global Affairs at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill. In the spring of 2020, when our students began coming back to Carolina and coming back to the United States from their study abroad experiences and international internships and other opportunities that they had, we recognized that it was essential for us to continue to grow opportunities here on campus for students to gain a meaningful global education. With that in mind, we launched the COIL program.
When we first thought about introducing collaborative online international learning, the pandemic had just begun. Our faculty were switching everything to remote instruction. And in that environment, we didn't know if people would be drawn to something new or if they would feel like it was too much to take on. Katie worked her network of faculty who lead study abroad programs and who were involved in the global partnership work. And we were surprised. For our initial interest meeting, there were over 50 faculty members who attended.
I got a nice invitation from UNC Global, who reached out to me and said, we know that you have some collaborators internationally and we're interested in starting this new program of collaborative online international learning.
I thought it was a really great opportunity to collaborate with colleagues from the University of San Francisco de Quito.
We recruited 41 faculty from across the university, teaching courses in medical anthropology, nursing, English and Comp Lit, business, a wide range of disciplines, ending with 17 universities across 14 countries. And I think what's so exciting to me about this program is that at a time when people were dealing with so many challenges, they still took something new on. I believe that they did that because recognized that this was a way to expand global education in the classroom and to rely on the partners we're developing around the world.
What's innovative and efficient about COIL? First, the way that it allows the global learning to take place without the need for all that flying back and forth across oceans, which involves a lot of expense. It's innovative because it takes the problem of a pandemic that we can't travel back and forth with our international partners, and using Zoom and virtual connections, it allows us to keep the information flowing and the ideas flowing.
Also in the Outstanding Government Service category, we recognize Robert Remini from the Department of Transportation. Let's see how this outstanding employee's keen eye and observation helped save a life.
So my new role with the IMAP division is a trainer here in Raleigh, training new IMAP drivers as they come into classes.
Robert is an amazing employee. We kicked it off right off the bat. He has great stories, lots of experience, and he's always there to lend a helping hand.
Being an IMAP driver in Division 7 and 9 was very, very exciting. Every day was a new challenge.
As an IMAP driver, Robert was one of our top drivers. He's the one of those ideal employees that you like to put on a plaque basically and say, this is the model we want you to follow. He is definitely an asset that we hated to lose.
So January of 2018, while on patrol, I was on I-73 northbound, exit 100, Gate City Boulevard. I observed part of our job, we stop with every vehicle on the highway. Observed a young lady outside the vehicle.
Right before rush hour, Robert actually saved a young girl actually being strangled in a car. Her seatbelt had become wrapped around her neck.
Acting with a tool that I purchased myself, and then I noticed my partner coming along. I raided him for help. We ultimately cut the seatbelt off the child's neck at the same time, saving her life and getting air back into her.
Every day is basically a life or death situation for IMAP. Even something as small as a disabled vehicle can turn into something major if it's not attended to soon and quickly.
You gotta be aware of your surroundings. What's coming on you? I'm looking for traffic, I'm looking for things all around me and trying to assess the injuries to the child. As soon as this happens, it just, training kicks in. You do what you have to do, you cut it, release her, and provide her air supply. As we were doing it, fire department rolled up in EMS, and Mom was visibly shaken, upset, and afterwards she was so thankful.
Having Robert win this award and highlighting our Division 7 and 9 is a great honor. It's putting us on the spotlight, letting them know that our drivers here in the Triad are really on their game. They're really about helping the people and providing a great service to the public.
And when you see us on the side of the road, know that we're helping somebody, and it could be you one day. So merge over, slow down.
Robert is actually a great liaison for our department. He's been a great liaison between the State Highway Patrol, different police departments, and different EMS.
Receiving this award and living in the state of North Carolina for some short years, it's an honor to me. As a team, IMAP is IMAP across the state, and we're all the same. And I really appreciate him acknowledging this, that what we do is very important.
Our next category is public service. Join me as we watch the video from Master Trooper Benny Grady from the Department of Public Safety. His tireless efforts outside his responsibilities with the State Highway Patrol support a special program near to law enforcement families.
Benny's involvement in the Caisson unit is huge for the organization. It's good for the district, it's great for the community, and it shines a very positive light, not only on law enforcement as a whole, but also on the organization.
What we do with the Caisson unit is we provide the funeral services for the men and women who are killed in the line of duty, and we give these honors to all law enforcement, fire and EMTs that are killed serving their communities.
Benny does a lot of stuff off the clock, so to speak, where he's not receiving compensation from the patrol, to make sure that the Troop Association, the Caisson unit, is able to benefit and is able to continue to operate at the highest level possible.
We always keep 6 horses. I've got 8 of them currently right now. We cover a total of 5 states providing these services. All of North Carolina, of course, and every state that is adjoined to us.
I think Benny's deserving because I think without Benny's work, without Benny spearheading this thing, I don't know where the Caisson unit would be. I don't even know if it would be existent.
On a typical day for me, I get up, I bring all the horses in, get the barn ready for the day. I come to work, I work my 10-hour shift. And so when I get home, I'll get changed and I'm back to the horses. And I'll release them out into the pasture, and then everything that's in those stalls has got to come out. It's all got to be clean, and we repeat that cycle every single day, and it's everyday dedicated upkeep.
I said, man, the amount of work you're doing for free and that you're volunteering, man, that speaks volumes of your character.
Also in the public service category, we have Brandon Watson from the Office of the Treasurer. Apart from his work as Banking Director of the Financial Operations Division, Brandon is having a positive impact on young lives, as you'll see in this video.
My name is Brandon Watson. I'm the Banking Director in the Financial Operations Division of the Department of State Treasurer.
I'm so excited that Brandon has received this important award, and as State Treasurer of North Carolina and Keeper of the Public Purse, it's just another example of not only what he does here, but what he does outside the Treasurer's office.
So yes, we do try to plan a trip every year for the boys. One great example of this is the International Civil Rights Museum in Greensboro and the Grandover. You know, we wanted the boys to have a learning experience and kind of see the history and gain a perspective of where they fit within that history. And that's really the purpose of the trip to the International Civil Rights Museum. You'd be surprised at these 3rd to 5th grade boys and how emotional they get over hearing some of the stories and getting to see some of these different sites in that museum. They really can become quite emotional.
We nominated Brandon for the award because he has done a tremendous job in the community working with the boys. He gets really excited when he talks about them and what he does there.
And then we had an etiquette course for them. We drove the boys over to the Grandover Resort in Greensboro. I think we were the only ones in the restaurant, and the students just had a great time. Just watching how tall they stood and proud they were, it was really, really, really heartwarming and made me proud.
Brandon is the epitome of what community service is about. He is providing them a role model that can change their lives and change their trajectory from this point forward.
The program has empowered me, and it taught me that I can be extraordinary. I think that what he's doing, it can change lives, and I think it can help a lot of people out with their life situations.
Our next recipient in the category of public service is Dr. Melissa Miller from UNC Medical Center. Dr. Miller has played a significant role in the state and federal response to the pandemic. Let's learn more about her work.
Had my first experience with the first SARS when I was a clinical microbiology fellow. Even though it was nothing of the scale of what this is, it was part of my experience. And then again with pandemic flu. So we were ready, and we had microbiology fellows that sprung into action with me, as well as our entire laboratory, to quickly develop a test so that we could start testing our patients before there was a commercially available test. And this was really, really critical at the beginning of the pandemic to identify the scope of what was happening in our community and start getting patients' diagnoses.
Once the sequence for the viral genome came out, she looked at it, found things that were targets, what they should use, and began preparing that diagnostic test way before any companies had the chance to, or even really the CDC was ready to do that. So she was positioning our medical center to be able to provide that for our patients very early on.
We have tested almost 350,000 COVID PCR tests here at the medical center. There's many more if you include all of the affiliate testing that's being done throughout UNC Health.
I think she really serves as just a fantastic symbol of what an individual can do, of really truly selfless dedication to doing what is right and using your skills and your intellect to push ideas forward and to help people at the same time, and to not think so much just locally, but think about what your actions can do on a more global scale. And I think to me it's just very, very inspirational.
Receiving the award in the category of public service, I feel, is the greatest honor that I could have received. This was always the end goal: public service. Serve the citizens of North Carolina, serve our patients at the medical center, and even my colleagues, right? We work very closely with infectious diseases and other colleagues to make sure we have the best care, including diagnostics, for our patients. And our lab is like a family to me, and we have the common goal of serving others. And that has been part of what has kept me going, and they are the reason I am getting this award. It is really on the behalf of our laboratory, because this wasn't a solo effort, this was a team effort.
Next, we have three amazing recipients in the final category, Safety and Heroism. First, Daryl Johnson from the Department of Transportation. Daryl courageously put his own life in danger as he took heroic action to save others. Join me now in learning more about his actions.
We come in about 12:30. We come in, check our trucks out. Once we get ready, we go out on the roads.
DJ's a fantastic employee. He'll stay late if that's what we need to have happen. Extremely dedicated to the job.
My job consists of going out every day, helping customers, helping the stranded motorists.
DJ showed up on scene of an accident where one of the individuals was very agitated.
They said that it was a pedestrian in the roadway.
DJ was the first official government vehicle to arrive and started talking to all these parties and figured out pretty quickly that this individual was not doing well emotionally.
The gentleman had walked out into the middle of the highway, a 6-lane road, in lane 3, cars moving about 75, 80 miles per hour.
DJ found an opportunity in between all the cars to jump out there and try and grab him.
I wanted to save him. I ran out in the highway, grabbed him because he was going to get hit.
From what I understand, then there was a second time where DJ had to go out and try and pull him out of traffic.
After that, the guy was getting upset with me and the other people that was on the scene, and then he punched me.
I guess it got a little physical. DJ had to kind of restrain him somewhat by force once he got to the shoulder of the road.
I knew the guy needed help. I didn't want him to get injured at all. He was having a really bad day. He was out in the middle of the road. We had caused 2 other accidents trying to avoid him. And it could have been an accident that he caused to himself, that he could have got hit, or someone else could have got seriously injured by trying to miss him.
Every IMAP driver probably needs this kind of recognition based on what we do day in, day out. This happened to be one of those above and beyond situations that DJ just happened to be first on scene and potentially saved this man's life.
It is a big honor, and I really appreciate everybody here in North Carolina at Division 5 here in Raleigh that has stood up and wrote in for me to be nominated for this award.
I'm extremely proud to have DJ on my crew, part of my team, and part of our IMAP group altogether.
It's always a team effort. So I'm just being recognized for an individual award, but Division 5 as a team, we're all awesome. I just love what I do.
Kelly Sellers also is from the Department of Transportation and is being honored today for his quick actions as he approached a traumatic roadside scene. Let's take a few moments to hear his story.
We go to a lot of incidents down here where, you know, accidents happen and they block the lanes, and it's our job to free up the roadway and keep the motoring public moving.
IMAP drivers are required to respond to an unknown situation in a moment's notice. We go through extensive training up in Raleigh to make sure that when we encounter any type of situation, we're prepared for it.
Each day is a different obstacle. You never know what you're going to run into. On that particular day, I was in Brunswick County in the Leland area, and I'd overheard some traffic where there was someone that was a disabled motorist, and they were trying to change the tire on the vehicle, and the guy was trapped.
Kelly used his critical thinking skills and utilized the equipment that we had on the IMAP truck to get the individual out.
He had tried to get the spare tire out. Whenever he did, the truck fell off the jack. The truck fell on him. LEO was there. They didn't have any jacks. They didn't have anything. We're trying to get the guy, you know, stable and calm him down. So I jumped out, grabbed the jacks, closed the lane down, called in the statewide and told him what we needed to do, and assisted in getting the gentleman out from under the vehicle. Luckily, he survived. He just had some minor burns from the exhaust pipe laying over his chest.
And like the EMS director for Brunswick County said, if it wasn't for his actions, it probably would have been a different outcome.
Minutes matter in all the situations that we run into. We're like first responders, and a moment's notice, we've got to step in and take care of the situation, because time does matter.
IMAP drivers, we are covered by certain laws that first responders are covered by once we are on the scene of an incident, but not on the way to the incident. One of the most important things I can stress to the public is that if you see any vehicle coming, amber, red, or blue lights, yield way to them. They're on their way to the emergency, they're on their way to assist people. One of the biggest issues we see is that people will not move out of the way when we're driving on the shoulder or trying to get to an incident, and that just delays not only us being able to help on the incident, but also us getting the traffic flowing again.
At the end of the day, when I go out here and I help someone, I know that I've done my job and I've tried to protect everybody that I can.
Kelly came to us maybe 3 years ago. He's been an excellent driver since then, been willing to help. He's established great relationships with all our responders in the area, and he's promoted our program. These guys don't show up every day wanting to get an award or trying to, you know, win a prize or that. They show up to help the general public. And when they go out and do these actions, they're doing it solely just for that.
It's an outstanding achievement. I've had, I never would have thought it. I'm very grateful and humbled to have it. And I believe it's really good for our division as well.
And finally, we recognize Tony Wade from the Wildlife Resources Commission. Tony is not a member of a rescue squad, but you never know it by the way he jumped into action and took charge of a situation. Watch his video and you'll see what I mean.
We were transporting some equipment from Madison County to Haywood County on Highway 209 when I noticed a young child at the end of his driveway looking up the road, which was unusual. So I slowed down to see what he was looking for. And approximately 100 yards on up 209, I saw an SUV laying on its side.
And essentially a car had overturned. It's on its side in a ditch and smoking, so a very real possibility of catching on fire. And Tony essentially took charge of the situation. At a great danger to himself, he jumped on top of the vehicle and one by one started pulling children out of the vehicle. 3 children specifically and their grandmother.
I see the young boy standing on the glass of the passenger side while his 2 sisters in the back seat were hanging, and so was his grandmother in the driver's seat. So I raised him out got him out, crawled down in there, got his two sisters unbuckled and got them out. And then we all worked together to get the grandmother out because the vehicle became unstable after we got the children out. And you see somebody and you think they need help and you think, you know, this could be my family, and you just react. So I just stopped in the middle of 209, which is not a road you want to stop in, put my hazards on and ran over there.
While Tony will say anyone would have done the same thing, not a big deal, I definitely don't agree with that. And even if someone else tried to help, I'm not sure anyone could have done it the way he did. The way he assessed the situation, commanded the attention he deserved, and essentially carried out a rescue operation.
I was just in the right place at the right time, and I was glad to help somebody.
Please join me in congratulating all of today's honorees. They are passionate about what they do and an inspiration to all of us. They know how to create and foster an environment where both our state employees and the people of North Carolina feel valued, engaged, and included. On behalf of everyone involved in the Governor's Award for Excellence program, please join me in recognizing their tremendous contributions in making North Carolina a place we're all so very proud to call home. Well, this concludes our virtual ceremony. Thank you so much for attending and being part of this very special presentation. The individual videos featured here also may be viewed on the Office of State Human Resources website. That website is oshr.nc.gov.